How's it going, guys? Mike here. I'm going to show you today Skinny Para 3 number 2. So this one, they're orange scales I got on the secondary market. One of the members of the group I'm in on Facebook, Millie, Para 3, Paramilitary 2 group, he was gracious enough to send them my way free of charge, which I appreciate. It's a good group of guys we got on there, and I made them skinny. So I'll do some close-ups here in a bit, but I just really enjoy that skinny mod. I tried it for the first time about a week ago and was carrying it a lot. I tried it on an old pair of black scales that I had, so I wanted to do it on this orange because I like the way this orange and black looks, and I didn't want to carry those plain Jane black ones when I had these orange ones. So I went ahead and did the mod on here. I did it in about 10 minutes, and I'll show you on the video. I think I'm gonna fast forward it, but it's about 45 seconds at 10 times speed. I think it was about 7 minutes and 50 seconds of actual grinding and sanding, and then I just had to clean it. So I'd say about 10 minutes overall time for number 2. The first one took quite a bit longer, but now that I got the hang of it, I just went to town with that Dremel and it turned out great. So I'm gonna flip the camera around, show you a close-up, and we'll be done. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, got you flipped around, and I'm just going to show you some close-ups on the Para 3 Skinny. So like I was saying, this is the second one that I've done, the orange. Got it next to a pair of titanium scales from Flytanium on the Para 3 to show you kind of the difference on what it means to skinny one up. You're basically removing this swell, and the reason you can do that is you can see on these liners, now I'm pretty close all the way down, whereas on the factory the liners are way down in there, so you're removing this fat part and you end up with a skinny Para 3. So this knife turned out great in my opinion. Like I said, it took about 10 minutes. About 8 of those were actual grinding, and then I had to clean it because you get that G10 dust everywhere. So I'm looking forward to carrying this. This is a user for me. It's kind of a Franken blade. Para 3 is using sprint scales from the Cutlery Shop Para 3. It's got a black S30V blade, just from a standard Para 3. Black hardware that's starting to rub. I didn't know this before, but the DLC can actually rub off. Let's see if I can get it to focus better. There you go. So you can see this one's barely black anymore. That turned silver. That one's kind of scratched, but it's got that hardware, which I'll probably get some more new black hardware to make it look better. It's got a custom G10 backspacer, which I think looks great with the G10, the orange G10 and black blade. Really makes it pop. This knife I think looks great, feels great. I like the way it feels in hand better. The normal Para 3 fit my hand great, but this one just kind of sinks in without that swell. You can really get your fingers in there and feel like you got a good hold on that blade. If anybody has a Para 3, I recommend doing the mod. If you don't have a Para 3 yet, it's a fantastic little knife. It is smaller than the Paramilitary 2. but even I wear size XL gloves, and the knife without choking up fits me. If you choke up, you got plenty of room, but no need to. It's still full four fingers on the handle, even with larger hands. And for those of you who've never kind of customized the knife, I had never done it for the longest time, but it really does change things. It kind of adds a new level to this hobby. I was buying the factory sprints and exclusives and just kind of leaving them, and I still do that for the most part, but I've picked out the ones that I'm gonna carry and use, and then just kind of got to modding them, whether it's new hardware, new clips. If you got a pair of 3, you can skinny it, blade swapping to kind of pick that color that you like. If you got a DLC blade and you think it'll look sweet on a different color handle like this black and orange, I recommend doing it. It kind of adds a new level to the hobby, at least for me it does, and you can kind of customizing it exactly what you want out of a knife in both performance and aesthetics. So again, this is the pair of 3 skinny mod. This is the second one I've done, and I think it turned out really well. I used 320 grit sandpaper, and that's all I did to finish it. And as you can see, it's very smooth. It's actually smoother than the top, which I did not sand, so it's smoother than the factory G10 on the rounded edges, and you will need to hit the corners. I have a video out step by step how to do it, but you'll see in the fast forward portion of this video, or you already saw, I hit it with some sandpaper at the very end around that hard 90 to make it feel like the top. But real easy mod, and I recommend doing it. You end up with a sweet blade and you make it your own. Thanks guys.